Alright guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today is a different kind of video from me, because it's that time of year again where we get to vote on a new mob being added to the game. So I thought I'd make a video telling you all the mobs that I voted for in the past, and I guess maybe a brief summary of my thoughts on each mob, and yeah, which mob I'm voting for this year and why. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment below about which mobs you voted for in the past and who you're voting for this year. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first ever mob vote was in 2017 during Minecon Earth, where 4 concept art for new mobs were shown. So there was Mob A, the Monster of the Ocean Depths, Mob B, the Monster of the Night Skies, Mob C, the Great Hunger, and Mob D, the Hovering Inferno. So these were the options that we had to pick from. So right away I felt that Mob C added the least to the game. I mean, if you look at them all side by side, it just looks like a big head with a big mouth. I wasn't too interested in it, especially compared to the rest, like a giant squid or a boss blaze, or a flying mob, which we didn't really have any flying mobs. Yeah, it was the weakest of the 4. My personal choice was Mob D. I thought it would be very cool to have like almost another mini boss in the game, like a nether mini boss would have been really cool. And my second choice would have been the Phantom. Everyone else was very hyped for the Phantom. I thought it was very cool. I thought the potential was there to be very cool. And I think A would have been a really cool addition too, but I didn't like traveling in water as it was. So, yeah, being in the water and being attacked by a mob, I was definitely going to die. So, didn't really want that as much as Mob D and Mob B. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on those. So the next mob vote wouldn't come around again until 2020 during Minecraft Live, where we got to choose between the Moobloom, the Iceologer, and the Glow Squid. This one was a bit of an easier decision for me. I always like the addition of the mushroom cows, like the 2 different kinds of mushroom cows, and I thought it would be cool and it would add a lot of like variety and life to the game if there were other unique versions of existing mobs. So with that being said, I like the Moobloom. That was my vote. But unfortunately, it got knocked out in the first round, which was a bit heartbreaking. So then I ended up voting for the Iceologer because although I didn't care too much for the other 2 options, the Iceologer was the most unique, being like an added family member of the Illager family, seemingly having magic, being able to use ice powers and stuff, which was pretty cool. But yeah, in the end, the Glow Squid got in, which it fits well in the Caves and Cliffs update. Like it's kind of cool, but yeah, I do think that the other 2 options were superior. But yeah, I guess we got a glowing squid, so yeah, guess we got to take what we get. But anyway, moving on to the last mob vote that took place in 2021. This mob vote was between the Glare, the LA, and the Copper Golem. Now this one was an absolute no-brainer for me. The Copper Golem clearly added so much into Minecraft, so much more than the others. The theme of kind of useful mobs seemed to be the case for this vote, and to me the Glare and the LA just had weak uses while providing like no additional character or life to the game. The Copper Golem, on the other hand, while not necessarily being that useful either, it just provided a fun and simple way to make a randomizer, and added by far the most fun character to the game for years. Like I think it's just the most fun character to the game. It would have been had so much life and personality. But unfortunately, the flying worse than a hopper that misses its targets and has 0 personality got in instead, and has since been used in no revolutionary way, and seems to be somewhat forgotten from what I can kind of tell. Yeah, this is the only mob vote that I was genuinely disappointed in. I think the LA is my least favorite mob in the game, whereas the Copper Golem would have probably been my favorite, or at least one of my favorites. And I think you would have seen the Golem a lot more. But yeah, anyway, that's my opinion on last year's mob vote. So, this year's mob vote in 2022 is between the Sniffer, the Rascal, and the Tough Golem. I believe the Rascal is the weakest of the bunch, adding a bit of character to Mineshaft, sure, but ultimately it has a pretty poor use and playability, and I don't think it really fits in Minecraft, and will kind of be forgotten about and not really seen once you get past the early stages of the game. The Sniffer, I think, is a great mob concept. I like the idea of including lore by having ancient mobs and plants come back to life. But overall, I think, once again, the Golem mob, being the Tough Golem, would add the most to the game and fits best into Minecraft. Now, I don't think it's quite as good as the Copper Golem, lacking a bit of the fun and the personality that the Golem had, but I do think it's a lot more useful, and I do think it adds the most life into the game out of the three mobs, and life and movement in Minecraft is hard to come by, especially in builds. It's the biggest thing we're lacking in the game, I think. Now, I know everyone is on the Sniffer train, and it seems like it might be the one to come out on top this year, but I worried it'll be the mob that you see once and enjoy for the first time, get the new seeds and plants from it, and then kind of forget about it, and only see it passively, like goats, llamas, and pandas. They're kind of novelty, sights that you kind of see every now and again. The Golem, on the other hand, lives in your base, walks around and holds your items, and Mojang have said that it returns to where it was spawned after it collects an item. I like this idea, and I wonder if you could put like a hopper underneath it, and have them take an item to it, and it'd be sucked down and have like a fun collection, like item collection system that way. It would be better and less janky than the LA does it, and it already has it already takes over that job, much better than the LA does it. Alternatively, I like the idea that the mob be a free roaming mob, so like it picks up your item, stands still for a bit, and then it's like, I want to walk around, walks around, moves a couple blocks, stands around, moves around your base. I think that would be cool, and it moves around just enough to remind you that it's alive, so every now and again you'll see it walking around in your peripheral or something, or you'll come into your base and it'll have moved around and you're just like, oh, it's over there now. It just reminds you that it's alive, and that it adds a bit of something out of your control into the game, which is kind of cool. Well, it's partially in your control, partially out of control. I think that would be very cool. And I think having a whole army of them would be very entertaining as well. If you just had hundreds of them, and they're all, every now and again, walking around, mingling with each other, I think that would be quite hilarious. You can also customize the Golem too, being able to dye its cloth every color in the game. And as well as this, you can make it hold any item in the game. And there's like 1,000 odd items in the game. So with that logic, you can combine the color with an item, which gives you thousands of combinations of Golem, which I think is a very cool addition. And you could even color code the Golem and put it next to your storage system to help you find colored blocks, or a certain type of block, and I think that would just be way cooler than just a plain old sign or a boring item frame, personally. So yeah, I'm voting the Tough Golem, and I hope you guys do too, and I really hope it gets in, so yeah. Alright, but those are my opinions on the mob vote. Let me know what you think about my opinion in the comments, and let me know what your thoughts are on all the mobs, and especially the mobs this year, and who you're voting for. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters!